Welcome to the Workbench After Hours podcast. My name is Keith, and I'm your host. This is where we talk about the firearms community, shop talk, and everyday life experiences. Welcome to episode 52 of the Workbench After Hours podcast. 1 year of you people having to listen to us talk.
Hi guys, how's it going?
So those of you that are watching on YouTube, if you're scratching your eyes thinking something's funny going on here, that is Hunter. He is back.
Yep.
I think
Hello, everybody. My name's Hunter.
Yeah. I think the last episode you were on was number 38.
My God, it's been a long time.
It is.
Jeez.
And you have to remember to sit close to the mic.
Yeah, I was wondering why you didn't have the sticky note on there for me saying sit close to the mic.
I've been going through a lot of our episodes because of stuff that I have planned, and there was one I totally forgot. We did put a sticky note on his boom arm that said
talk into the mic.
Yeah. So yeah, he's back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Contract negotiations have completed.
Yeah, so finally.
And you've
regained host status.
And with those negotiations, he has to be designated as a co-host. That was his number one thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, my number one thing was to be the host.
Okay.
But Keith wasn't letting that happen, so just
I mean,
co-host
if
again.
you open your checkbook a little more, maybe I could let that happen. So, whiskey of the week. I haven't told these guys what we have. Splurged a little bit. I'm hoping it's good. I've never had it. Hunter, I think you have actually recently had something similar, but thought I'd try it. Went to Gomer's and Linux. I'm like, hey, we have an anniversary podcast. We've tried a bunch of your normal stuff. What's something interesting that we can try? Something a little more rare. So he brought me to this glass case where they keep their allocated stuff, and he told me to try this. So why don't you go ahead and unveil that, Chris?
Ooh, Whistlepig.
10-year.
Damn.
And this is actually, for some reason, that he said it's bottled just this particular one is bottled for Kansas. Like they have certain barrels that they pick per state, and this one is for Kansas.
That's pretty cool.
So this is a 10-year. They had a 12-year, and I'm like, is the difference worth it? Because it's like $50 more. And he's like, no, you're not going to be able to really tell a 2-year aging difference between the two. So I went with this one.
Well, besides the proof.
Yeah.
Did this one come in like a box?
Just like this.
Sinatra? Okay.
No. I
Came
wish.
with a bag.
Yeah. It's my headphone bag, actually. Yeah. Did you, because you had something similar with Bryant over the weekend, right? Or was that?
We had Eagle Rare.
Okay.
10-year.
I couldn't remember if you said something about Whistlepig.
But Adrian and I don't remember the exact specific bottle it was, but one year we split buying a bottle for Bryant for his birthday, and it was Whistlepig. I think it was a 10-year, but I don't know which one it specifically was, and it came in a decorative box like the Sinatra did.
Okay,
that's why I was asking if it came in a
Gotcha.
In a box.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that in a conversation we had recently, so I couldn't remember if you tried it recently, but no, that was your goal for it. All right, so I'm glad I did get it. So it is a rye whiskey, and it's a small batch, aged 10 years. So it is a bold, spice-forward whiskey that offers new layers of flavor with every year of age. It's 100 proof. And it has 96 points from the Wine Enthusiast. One of the highest rated rye whiskeys. So go ahead.
I gotta say, even though the label design's pretty simple, but like the tan,
the texture,
and you can kind of see the gold inlay into the Whistlepig. It's a really clean looking bottle.
To go ahead and open up that bad boy. So the nose, we're supposed to get an allspice, orange peel, oak, char, and caramel. So that's what we're supposed to smell. And
what was
then
that one more time? What was that?
We're supposed to get it kind of an allspice, orange peel, oak, char, and caramel.
Okay.
And then on the palate, it's supposed to be sweet with hints of caramel and vanilla, and followed by rye spice and mint.
Ooh, I don't know if have we ever had a whiskey with mint on the palate?
Nope.
Not really mint, but we had like earthy tones. on one of those Irish whiskeys.
Yeah, and the finish, long finish. There you go, ladies. Warm butterscotch and caramel.
Okay. Well, I like anything that's kind of got that caramel vanilla flavor to it. So
Chris and I have noticed a lot of the whiskeys we try have a very caramel taste to them.
I feel like I can always taste the caramel, not so much always the vanilla, but
And you always can taste the spice on the back end.
always can taste the spice.
Yeah. I still can't get over the fact that we, in the blind test, all three of us hated Jack Daniels. Like we said, this is the worst.
That is so funny.
I know. And Jack Daniels, you get a spice at the end, but for some reason, when we were trying it,
It was really
wasn't
harsh.
getting it. Yeah.
And you guys, the only one you guys got right was
Woodford.
Woodford, of course.
I thought Jack Daniels was Blanton's.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd you guess Blanton's was?
Evan Williams.
Evan
The small batch. Have you ever had the small?
No, but
Oh, man.
Oh, and I talked to the guy. I was like, we've been trying all these whiskeys and we've been kind of bad mouthing Evan Williams because that's a cheaper whiskey. And I told him that we did a blind test and we had the small batch and thought it was a better whiskey. And he's like, yeah, a lot of people just think because it's Evan Williams, it's not good. I guess they had a single barrel or something that for like $30 nobody used to even bother with, but now they can't keep in stock.
really?
Yeah, because people have found out, hey, this is actually good whiskey.
Did you give this a sip yet?
Not yet. It better be worth it.
Ooh, it's good.
It's smooth.
It was about $100, so it was a little pricey.
Damn.
But Boomstick Tactical sponsored this video.
It's really smooth. You definitely get the heat.
You get the heat, but
I got a little bit of the mint, actually.
So I'm definitely getting the spices,
I
the
think
oak
I'm kinda
char,
getting the mint on
caramel.
the aftertaste.
Yeah, like on the back end of
but
it, you
not
get the mint.
necessarily on the palate. But I definitely getting the caramel.
Yeah.
Warm butterscotch.
It's funny. So my birthday was on Friday. Keith's was on Monday, and Keith calls me, he calls me or texts me. And he's like, "Where you at, old man? When you gonna be home?" I was like, "I don't know, soon." He's like, "All right, I got to give you your present." So he brings over a bottle. I feel it in the bag. I just feel the shape of it, and I'm like, "This better not be Woodford," because I had went out and bought him a present like a couple of days earlier, and of course I bought him Woodford as well, and so I had to go out and figure something else out to buy. So I ended up getting Boondock,
Yeah. It's actually a bottle right behind you.
and it was pretty tasty too. It was really smooth.
Yes. Very, a lot lighter in color, but it was like I could have drinking that straight without mixing it.
It the ice kind of helped mellow it a little bit, but yeah, it was fine to drink straight.
It's funny. We kind of gift each other whiskey now for our birthdays and stuff. Chris got me a bottle of ammunition.
Yep.
It's whiskey, like bourbon whiskey that's made somewhere in the Midwest. And then they take it to California and finish it off in wine barrels. And this one was finished off in cab barrels.
Yep.
It was actually really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we'll bring those on the podcast here soon too, adding to the collection.
Yeah, the collection's getting
But
pretty
I
impressive.
figured Woodford would be a good one because we all agree.
Yeah.
Everybody that's been on here has agreed Woodford is like one of everybody's favorite.
It's like the easiest, just sipping, enjoying whiskey.
Yeah.
I think personally.
And it's 30 some dollars, so not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Too
not
crazy?
not a break the bank at all.
All right, so we're gonna see what it does with ice.
Calm it down.
And Chris, you've got a graduation party coming up, huh?
Yep.
What is it? The 16th,
17th.
17th.
I graduate on the 16th.
Moving forward, after that date, we all have to call Chris Master Chris. Why is that, Chris?
Because I'll have my masters.
Yep. Man, since we've been doing this podcast, he's been having to leave afterwards, go do homework, take a test, whatever.
Yeah.
And finally, it's paid off. He's graduating.
Yeah. Thank God. Long time.
Yeah. So
But we get to open a pretty good bottle for that.
Yes, I'm very excited for the bottle that we get to open.
Sinatra.
Yep.
Ooh. That's what I thought we were having today.
I'm saving that one for if we make it to 100. So in a year from now, we'll have that one. We're actually 52. So actually in less than a year.
Yeah, almost a year.
Yeah.
You'd have to make it 104.
If you heard the crunching, I apologize. I put an ice cube in my mouth and immediately thought that was a dumb idea, but I don't want to spit it back into my
remember
glass.
the type of microphone we have to put you on, Hunter?
Yeah.
I know it's been a while.
It's a dynamic.
It's been a while since you've had to talk into a
So
microphone.
even though I was
condenser.
leaning away, they probably still just heard that.
I could hear it in my headphones.
Damn it. Sorry, guys.
So the cool thing about this Rodecaster Pro 2 over the first one is pretty much what you hear in your headphones is what's on the final product. Whereas remember the first one, how noisy it was? There was like a lot of buzzing and stuff going on. This, whatever you hear in your headphones is what's coming out. So, yes. So is it better on ice?
I haven't tried it yet. Let it cool down.
Definitely get more of the butterscotch, caramel, vanilla-ish flavors on the back end there.
Yeah, you get the mint on the very back end of it, it seems like.
When I think about it, I
Yeah.
can taste the mint. But if I'm not thinking about it, it doesn't.
Yeah.
There's another whiskey that I've seen in their allocated section, and I asked a guy about it, and he didn't know anything because it's something that just came out. It's called Blue something like that, and there's like 3 different ones, but they're like $100, and I'm like, man, I don't know. He didn't know anything about them because they're new, but that's something I want to kind of try one of these days.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And it begins.
Classic Hunter. You know, nobody else does what you're doing.
Hey. You wanted me to be back on the year podcast. Here I am.
We should have played that, made a song. Guess
Yep.
who's back?
Back again.
Hunter's back. No gun of the week this week. Kind of a little bit different. We want to kind of talk about the last year of doing this. And I have a lot of different clips of various podcasts over the years because there was the original one that Chris and I did as a pilot episode. And that one's kind of funny. I don't know if I have it pulled up here. I'll try and find a way to pull up an image of it. That's when we were growing out our beards.
Yeah.
So Chris and I have these long beards. And the main reason I didn't post that one initially, and we did another one as episode 1, is the entire time I'm sitting there just stroking my beard like this because I was nervous. I didn't know what else to do. And, you know, when you have a beard, you tend to play with it. So I'm just sitting there watching. I'm just going like this. I'm like, oh, that's not annoying at all.
We look like we had a bunch of pubes glued to our face.
Chris had the best beard out of all of us,
Yes, you did.
although he had the most grays out of all of us until he colored it. One thing about this podcast is Hunter, like we've discussed, and his title. Because on the very first, I don't know, probably few episodes, because I didn't know who was all going to be on, I always said, hey, my guests, Chris and Hunter. Well, after quite a few episodes, you're like, all right, at this point, we're not guests anymore.
Yeah.
So it doesn't show. I looked and looked. I don't think it came in any of the episodes, but after the episodes, Hunter's like, stop calling me a guest, you.
Yeah.
Like he was making a big thing of it. So recently, Hunter came on a podcast, and I had no idea what he was going to do, but he decided to do this.
Today, I'm your host. My name is Hunter Thole.
Oh, yeah.
Today with me, I've got Chris Jessmore and Keith White. I'm so glad to have you guys with me. This is fantastic. You know, I've been putting a lot of work into this podcast. The fact that you guys keep joining me week after week is just phenomenal. I'd like to thank my co-hosts, Chris and Keith, for joining me today.
At least he called us co-hosts.
Yeah. I kind of lost a bit there.
Yeah.
I should have said guess, but
Well, and then like after as it goes on, there's silence, and I'm like, "What's next, Hunter? Like,
Yeah.
just roll with it."
You're the host.
So that was something that's always been funny is I've accidentally not thinking about it said guests
Yeah.
when really it ended up you guys being co-hosts. Really,
Yeah, we're literally on the animated picture for the podcast.
When we started, we had no idea what we were going to talk about.
Or the format, or really anything.
Yeah, we didn't have one. We just like, let's talk
Let's
about
wing it.
random stuff.
Yeah, let's wing it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And be nervous. I was the first like 5. I was so nervous. Like,
What to say, what to talk about. Like,
yeah, and just like people are gonna be listening to me. Probably
Yeah.
sounding like a complete idiot right now, but luckily that goes away pretty quick.
Yeah, we're keeping a log of, hey, these are some topics in case we need them, but we haven't done that in
Yeah.
a very long time.
And it's funny too, because like when I had my buddy Austin on, he's told me he hasn't even been able to make it 5 minutes into the episode because he just cannot stand
His voice.
hearing himself talk,
Yeah.
his voice, what he's saying. It's like, I sound like an idiot. I'm like, no, that's how you always sound. It's just, it's not recorded and now available for everybody on the internet. So, but he still is just like, I can't even watch it. It drives me nuts.
Talking to a camera, hearing your voice, it's not normal, and it takes some getting used to. Mm-hmm. Like, we have 3 cameras set up, obviously, so we've gotten to the point to where it's like, once we hit record,
We just go.
yeah, we're a little on edge at first, not anymore, but we were. But then after one, we get some whiskey in us, and then we get the conversation going, kind of forget about it.
Yeah.
So that's a cool thing, and our setup has changed quite a bit since
Drastically.
the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play, and this is probably going to embarrass us, but I'm going to play a small clip of our very first podcast, not the pilot one, but our very first one. It's out there, but I cringe every time I see this. So this is the very first one. All right, guys, thanks, and welcome to the Workbench After Hours podcast. My name is Keith.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Hunter.
And we're just a couple guys just getting into this podcast journey, and we figured that we would start off with all 3 of us. You may see one, just 1 or 2 of us, or maybe all 3 of us throughout the episodes, but we thought we'd all kind of do it together during the first one. We call it the Workbench After Hours because we usually find ourselves around my workbenches in the garage, just kind of shooting the breeze, drinking whiskey, smoking cigars. So we figured, we would kind of bring that into a podcast. Each one will have a certain topic, but then we might branch off into other stuff. Obviously, with us being a gun channel on YouTube, we're going to talk a lot about guns and stuff, but then also kind of branch out into, whatever we end up talking about around the workbench. So I think now we'll just kind of start on like how we each got into guns pretty much. Chris, I don't know if you want to tell us how you got into guns.
I got into guns really when I moved back to Kansas after the military. I think I always had a passion for guns. I think most boys do when they're younger, with Nerf guns and then BB guns and then airsoft, and everything just takes off from there and gets bigger and badder and more fun and more expensive.
Right.
But that's pretty much how I got into them. And then you got me into the AR platforms.
Very cool.
So how many guns do you have right now?
I think about 10.
All right. We could work on that number though.
Yeah.
10 guns. My gosh.
Well, how many does
to get up there?
how many does your father-in-law have?
Oh, I don't even. It's got to be in the 30s, 40s.
So Hunter, what about you? What's your experience with guns been so far?
So I actually grew up in. My mom came from a huge hunting family. For some reason, she just, when she had kids, she wanted us to have nothing to do with it. So, one of my uncles teaches a hunter safety course, and all of his kids shoot, and all my cousins on my mom's side, anyways, they all shoot. And my mom would never let me actually get into it, but the first gun I ever got, I inherited from my grandpa, and it's just an Ithaca. It's a single barrel, but you use the lever action to break it apart to break apart the gun, and then you can just put one shell in. And when he gave that to me, I think I've shot it once or twice, not too many times, but anytime you shoot something like that, you're just like, holy hell, this is so cool. I want to keep doing this.
Right.
So, of course, we moved next door to Keith, and he's got his own gun business. So I started talking to him about it, and he's like, yeah, this is the last thing you want for a home defense gun. So he he looked at it and he's like, yeah, I can sell this for you. Awesome, cool. But before that happened, I ended up buying a Glock 17 from him, which still haven't gotten to shoot yet. We're dying to shoot it. You know, you think your neighbor who's a freaking owns a gun business would take you go shoot the gun he just sold you at least once, but
Yeah. So it looks like Hunter's about to fall asleep the whole time.
I was kind of drunk.
That mustache, man, and
The
just
mustache was brutal. Keith, I don't know who cut your hair, but that's the most high and tight I've ever seen you have a haircut. And then also, I remember on that setup, the table was so narrow that
We were almost like on top of each other.
yeah, our knees were all bumping, so you can keep seeing me like crane my neck to look over. You can't tell from the camera angle, but I was probably 6 inches in front of them. So when they were talking, if I wanted to look at them while they were talking, I had to like completely look to the side. So
yeah. And just
yeah, that mustache is just absolutely ridiculous.
and you can tell I say, we're just a couple guys when there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had no idea how to start off that podcast. Like,
And whiskey, we must have not even thought about. I know like the whiskey theme did come a little bit later, but you guys, it looks like you have bourbon or something, and I had a beer. So
Yeah.
that's
we were drinking some sort of probably Jim Beam.
Yeah, that or maybe Jack.
Yeah.
We love you, Jack.
But yeah, that, and then from that episode, everything, something changes per episode. Like whether it's
Gradually
the
progresses.
camera angle, the equipment, I get a couple different microphones, backlighting, everything. And yeah,
In that first one, it looks like we were on like a bird's eye view of us, and we're all like having to look up.
Hunter's like, I remember that. Hunter's like, oh, it's going to look the best. I watch them. They look best from a high angle. Like, I don't know, but we'll try it.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about how all girls take selfies from up high. It's like it's got to get the best angle.
That is what it is. But yeah, that's kind of the start of it all. And so do you guys, because I personally did not think, I didn't know how long we'd last. I didn't think we'd last a whole year, let alone 52 consecutive weeks in a row.
That's really on you or the consistency, because you're like, what was the number? If you don't make them, what was it? Like,
It's like 7.
7 or 11 or something like that. Most podcasts just end if you don't at least do it consistently up to that mark. And Keith made it to that mark and said, I'm going to keep going to 52.
I'm just going to keep going until we...
Well, this is the last episode, guys. So it's nice seeing you.
Yep. Now we're going to have to return all this equipment.
Last one for the year?
Yeah. Oh, no. Actually, no, it's not.
No.
No. But yeah, that's... Yeah, I didn't think we'd make it this far, and we have. And it's nice because you can kind of tell, like, the very first while, I guess, we kind of talk about a bunch of stuff. But now we've kind of transitioned to talking more about more gun stuff, whiskey. We have a gun of the week. So it's nice to have it structured to where, hey, if you come to listen to this podcast, we're going to have a whiskey of the week that we're going to showcase. There's going to be a gun of the week that we talk about. And then we generally have a main topic that's probably gun related now.
Yeah.
So a lot of the very first episodes, we were like just struggling to come up with stuff. So we were talking about literally anything and everything we can think of. And yeah, and then it's funny because you always see Hunter sitting there. He's always
with the microphone.
moving. So in the very beginning, because we were running out of ideas, we had our wives take over the podcast for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that was scary.
And that actually got your wife kind of into podcasting, which is a little late on some episodes, but
Yep.
so this is what we kind of got ourselves into, letting our wives take over.
We got it.
We got this. We're
It's
good.
fine.
Okay, I'm just making sure it's tracking.
We're gonna be angels.
They do not believe us.
No.
That's as they shouldn't.
Oh, yeah, they
Okay.
got crunk,
I'm
didn't
gonna let
they?
you introduce.
My wife did.
Welcome to the Workbench After Hours. My name is Marie, and I am Keith's wife. And today I have Kat with me. This is Chris's wife, and we have completely taken over the show and plied the boys with lots of food. And I don't know what they're drinking down there, but I'm sure that they'll they'll enjoy editing all of this once we're done. They told us to keep it PG-13. Good luck with that.
Yeah, and if you have heard that episode, they don't keep it PG-13 at all.
No.
My wife probably to blame for that. But yeah, they
Or the alcohol.
yeah, Marie struggled very hard opening up that bottle, and just the facial expressions he made was pretty funny. But yeah, we were kind of like in the same setup, different desk.
Yep.
Still had the high camera angle, but getting a little bit better. I think that was like episode. It was in the early teens,
Yeah.
I think.
If that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Man,
Hard
time
to keep
flies.
track. Yeah, I've been trying to go through and get all these different clips, and going through 52 episodes that are a minimum of an hour each. It's just been
A nightmare.
a nightmare. And then trying to, because then I have to upload them into Final Cut Pro, get the clip I want, and then export. It's taking up a lot of memory on my computer. That's why I have my SD card connected here, because I'm out of memory right now. I have to go back and clear everything out. We've had multiple guests, family, friends. We've had 2 guests on that actually reached out from companies, and that was kind of cool. We got to try out some different virtual episodes and everything, so that was pretty cool. But one episode, actually a lot of episodes, Joe's been around, and he kind of brings a comedic relief to us, pretty much. Not that we're not funny, but I was going through
He
and
gets goofy, man.
he does get goofy, and we found out that we should go to dinner first before we record with him, because
Yeah.
it gets him a little looser. So here's a few of the favorite clips that I found from Joe that's actually kind of funny. So Joe, you're new here. Do you disc golf?
I have disc golfed once. One time. Sorry.
Cotton mouth.
You know, I'm just so excited to be here. I get a little choked up, Keith, when I see your face. There's just something about it. I don't know.
Yep.
I'm just really distracted by this Game of Thrones poster right in front of us. I'm pretty sure we're going to be watching some Game of Thrones.
There's those 2, and then you got those 2 paintings back there.
Oh, there's a theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Your boy's a nerd.
I've been living with my parents.
Been living a little loose and fast, you're saying.
Well, it's been a little bit nuts. I come home from work, and I walk in the door, and dinner is on the table. And there's a glass of wine poured on the table. And I've been getting into this boxed wine. So I went through a box last week with my mom. I live in marital bliss.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
What?
We're all married here.
It's really nice to have you guys in this room.
Are you gonna sit that close? If you can move the mic back if you want to, like, get comfortable.
You know, I think this is a good position to be in. Don't you? Okay, I see. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna talk like this like the entire night. So is this okay?
Just make sure the front of the microphone is.
Is this okay?
Yep. But don't be afraid to move the microphone and go like this if you need to adjust.
Listen,
I'm just saying.
I piss excellence.
I think all those drinks are starting to hit.
You know what's awesome?
Huh.
I've been recording this.
I've picked my nutsack 4 times trying to get it to unstick from my thigh.
You see that little record button?
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom.
Does that look pretty
Center.
well, yes.
Focus.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be able to see my gut.
That ball kicked my ass.
I'm not as comfortable right here because I don't have a place to put my hands.
God, look at the gut on that one in this view. Woo. Hey, you can tell you had some McDonald's today, buddy. Just kidding.
Go fuck yourself.
Fuck you. Grandpa over here taking all day to open a bottle of whiskey. Jesus.
Are you the oldest one out of all of us? Keith is?
What?
This is Dickel. It comes straight from your Dickel.
Nickel pickle.
It comes straight from your Dickel pickle. It's
This-
Dickel pickle flavored.
This is definitely going to be in the final.
I feel like I need sunglasses in here. Hey, listen, I really appreciate you inviting me back after, 6 months. It's really nice. I must have made an impression. How do you make a hormone? You don't pay her. This Dickel tastes
Small
really
batch
good in my
whiskey
mouth.
from Tennessee called George Dickel.
Dickel. All right.
I gotta remember
Says
not
it was bottled by George Dickel too.
I want something unique.
All right.
Is that okay? Oh, should I spell? Sorry. I got your Dickel on me. I don't know. I'm getting kind of a Woodford
It's been a hot
vibe.
minute since I've had Woodford, so
I'm
I.
getting a little Woodford vibe. Sorry, Dickel, if I'm way off.
So Dickel's getting your Woodford.
Oh my gosh, it is. No, Dickel's getting Hardigan's Woodford off. How's it going, Coach?
Yeah.
And Lexus, I'll bring him up again. There's one of their vehicles, the LC, has firing mechanisms under the hood. So when you're like going to hit a pedestrian, it pops the hood up about 6 inches in the back towards the windshield, and allows for like a trampoline effect if you hit somebody. It destroys the front of the car.
Yeah.
But Chris and I used to drive up and down 135th, and we didn't have girlfriends because we were that cool in high school. And Chris used to sit in the passenger seat and pray that a car full of girls would pull up next to us, and I don't think it ever happened.
Happened a couple times.
I don't remember. They never got in the car.
Yeah.
Why can I only hear myself in my right ear? That's way better, actually. Thank you.
Chris, everything good on your end?
Yes, sir.
I don't want to hold this.
Why?
It
These-
scares me. Okay. So could you shoot this like out a car window?
Actually,
Probably. No, you need a
You know what?
hammer.
Now I have to leave.
thank God.
What a dick. You're not recording that, are you?
No.
Okay, good. Here, take that. I don't want it. My mother sees me with that. She's going to freak out. It says
scarred.
it's recording. You're a liar.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
normally we have a main topic of the week, but Chris slacked and didn't come up with one. You want to hold it, Joe?
Yeah, sure. Can I hold your gun?
Joe was scared of this gun earlier.
I'm more interested in the stock and the shaping. I feel like it's kind of phallic. Not that would interest me. I'm just saying,
It's not a shotgun. And it's,
See?
yeah,
So sorry. I love you.
your son is holding a.
Oh, I pulled the trigger.
Well, we cleared it, so you're good.
Okay, that's good because I don't know what I'm doing with this thing.
Oh boy.
Can we cut this part out? Yeah. You're going to have to edit this part out too.
So apparently we were gonna have to edit out a lot of stuff, but
Yeah,
Joe
I don't-
doesn't realize we don't really edit.
Nope. Oh, darn.
So
I think
yeah,
the only
that's
time
a-
we edited was when we messed up the SIG,
Yeah,
and that was hard.
yeah. Chris
First gun of the week.
had the gun of the week and totally effed it up.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Called it the wrong thing, then I called it the wrong thing, and then we're like, "Are we sure that's right?" Afterwards, and nope, we were wrong, and had a voiceover every time he said the P360.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't think that sounds right, but I'm gonna go with it because you're the SIG guy.
yeah,
Thanks, Chris.
yeah. That was fun.
Luckily, nobody caught on to that.
Yeah. Yeah. The funniest part was actually trying to record it. We should have recorded us trying to do the voiceover because
Yep.
we could not stop laughing the entire time.
Because you had to do it because you go SIG P360 or say it SIG P360. Like,
Yeah. Sig Sauer 360. Oh, fuck. I said it again.
So yeah, that's those were some kind of funny moments that I found with Joe. Kind of funny when he's on. So yeah, and you can see in all the clips how we've changed.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
changes a lot. I despised the one in the clip where he's like, "Well, I've already picked my nutsack off my leg 4 times." We had to put that little table there to mount a mic so there was enough room, and so that way I had a place to put drinks and stuff like that.
Yep.
I slammed my knee into that thing so many goddamn times when we were recording.
So I'm gonna actually, this isn't gonna come out right now. It'll be a roll, but I'm gonna show you what we see, kind of our setup from our perspective. So these are the 3 cameras that we're staring at right now. We have 2 iPhones for the secondary, and then that main Sony camera right there. And those are the Game of Thrones posters that Joe was referring to. So those, and then obviously you guys have seen those ones in there as well. And then we got the mixer that controls everything. And then this little guy right here is what I use to switch between camera angles. So I just hit this button and changes it. And I've started using this screen right here, which has been very nice. And I can control everything from this screen, basically do all my editing from here, have it off screen or off camera, and yeah, of course you see me looking over, but this is what I'm looking at. I'm editing the video as we go. And the new table, it's actually a workbench. It's a Husky workbench table, but it's nice because it's on wheels and I can roll this sucker around and much longer. So we all three fit around here comfortably.
Sturdy too. So when you mount the mics, they're not going anywhere. I think that other table was kind of thinner. And so you know how much I like to adjust the mic. I could always kind of feel it. Like I always thought it was going to slip off the end of the back of the table.
And these are our studio lights. I'm trying out a different color right now. We usually have it set at a more warmer color, but all the videos on YouTube I watch, people shooting like more daylight. So I'm trying it.
You should also do because they can kind of see the whiskeys, but how you have the whiskey set up.
Talk while I film, Hunter.
Okay, so while he's filming, I don't know if you noticed when he kind of flashed the camera over this way, but Chris and I just both noticed that he painted this this south side wall matte black. The whole thing's just matte black.
Yeah.
And he said he had an interesting story about it for us. So
Yeah, I can't wait to hear that.
Yep.
Something to do with his good old boy
this
Max.
wall over here used to be the same color as
All the other ones?
all the other ones in here, and I've decided to stop recording on this guy. I've decided to, since I have 2 podcasts and 2 YouTube channels, it all kind of has the same background. I want to kind of break it up a little bit, and then also with thumbnail shots and B-roll, I don't always want to have either this in the background or you could see all the cameras and those posters over on that side. So I painted that wall matte black because when you shine a light on there, you could really make it any color you want to. And it makes a cool kind of backdrop. And with these new soft boxes I got, they have these grids on them to really diffuse the light source. So that's going to help too. So I'm going to use that wall for thumbnails, maybe some more like reviews on whether I use it on Shotgun Studio or the Boomstick channel. I haven't decided yet, or more motorcycle stuff, but just it's something to break up this
Background.
to kind of give it a little something different.
Some diversity.
But I was painting that wall over the weekend, and I absolutely hate painting. So, whatever. So I was doing it. Marie decided to go to her mom's house. So me, myself, and the dogs were home, and the dogs were downstairs in the living room wrestling around. So I'm like, all right, you guys are on your own. So I painted the whole wall, got the whole thing rolled. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to go take the leftover paint out in the garage, pour it back in the paint container. So as I'm walking down, the dogs are in the living room messing around with each other. And I'm in the garage getting ready to pour the paint back in the bucket. And I hear this ruckus. I'm like, oh, well, that's the dogs that were in the living room. But then I'm like thinking to myself, it sounds like it's coming from directly above me. And I'm like, oh, crap. And so I run upstairs. And as I'm coming up the flight of stairs, Max comes out of my office, and his fur is shiny. And I think, you motherfucker. Why is your fur shiny? And so I immediately just think he somehow got in the paint. So I don't even look at him, don't touch him. I just, in a very stern, mad voice, tell him to go outside. And I kind of know that he's probably got paint on him. And I'm like, oh my God, if he tracks paint on, if like he rubs up against anything else in this house, he's going to get paint on everything. So he runs to his kennel. I'm like, no, motherfucker, like get the hell outside. I don't want you touching anything. So I throw him outside. I come up here. He had rubbed his entire head to tail body, both sides of him, up against the wall, and like got up there really good and was like really just rubbing himself into the paint. So not only did he have paint all over both sides of him, head to tail, he sheds a lot because he's a black lab. I looked at an angle at the paint, matted dog hair all over the bottom half of the wall. I was pissed.
When you said he almost died, I thought you were gonna say like you came up and you caught him like drinking the paint or something.
Oh no,
you were about to kill him.
I called Marie. She didn't answer. I called her mom. I'm like, you need to tell Marie to come home now, or else I'm gonna put a bullet in Max's head. Like, not only is he covered in paint, but I got to figure out how to get this hair out of the paint before it dries. So I was pissed. So Marie came home and she washed Max, and I literally had to wipe off the whole probably bottom 2 feet of the wall, all the paint that I just put on there, because there was so much dog hair. If I were to have to sand that off, that would have taken forever, been so much dust.
What'd you use to wipe it off?
Paper towels and water, like wetted paper towels. It took so long. And I was just like,
Maxie.
dude, I was fuming. Like,
You spent all that time on it just to have to wipe it off.
I
repaint.
wanted to literally kill that dog.
That's so funny. I wonder why. Just like, was fascinated with the scent and just wanted to get it all over his body, or
Freaking
what?
stupid. I don't know.
That's how dogs are.
So I was very, very mad at him. And I'm like, I have to wipe off paint off a wall. And, I got it thick because it's black and you want to do less coats. And
lucky you kind of heard the ruckus and heard that it was up here, but because he's black, you could have easily glanced at him and not really paid attention and noticed that he was glistening with a fresh coat of paint on him.
Thank God Hazel didn't do the same thing, because she's got white in her hair.
And long, wiry hair, too.
Thank God I thought to myself I should go up and check on it, because had I not, God only knows if he would have rolled around in the carpet or jumped on a chair or what he could have done.
Yeah.
Like, it could have been so much worse.
And when it started drying, maybe it made him feel uncomfortable, so he starts going to rub himself on other stuff to try and get it off.
Could you imagine, though, if he would have done that back
Literally
roll on the carpet?
Anything.
Yeah.
Oh,
A door, it could have been on anything. So, yeah, and you're also lucky you didn't have enough time to dry, because you would have had to sand that whole, and then you would have had to tape off and lay down plastic everywhere. And
because I painted so much now, I don't tape off anything, or I lay maybe one sheet down and that's it. But yeah, I was not happy. And it's like, God damn it, man.
you didn't tape anything
You don't need
when
tape
you were doing
anymore.
the border.
I found, like, I used to be really I used to hurry and not take my time and it'd go everywhere. But now I'm like, if I take my time and go slow, it ends up being faster, because you don't have to tape. And then you run the risk, at least with me, if I do tape and I take the tape down, it always bleeds through.
Yep.
No matter what tape you use. So I just take my time and go. I use a really small, 1-inch corner brush the first time, go around. Then the second time I do it, I do a little bit larger brush, and just get a little bit of steady hand. And
You'll get there eventually.
Yeah, or I'll just let my wife do it.
What- and
you
with-
guys honestly think I would have the patience
no.
to be able to do that?
And I can't really tape off the ceiling very good because it's acoustic popcorn texture, and it doesn't work. So I just took my time, and that's what pissed me off. I'm like, dude, I spent a long time doing this, you asshole.
Now I gotta do it again.
Like, I wanted to get it done before we shot this podcast because it kind of smelled in here. So yeah,
You didn't want us getting high off paint fumes?
no. And I was gonna try to, because a lot of video podcasts, you see people actually sitting at a table across from each other, and then they have one main camera coming this way, and then they have two on that way. You can see. For some reason, I don't think it's going to work for us or the way I have it set up, because it just doesn't look good.
But you also produce the podcast. Those other podcasts have somebody in the background who's controlling
doing everything.
camera angles, controlling the soundboard and all that stuff. You're doing all that yourself. It would look goofy to have that, I think, in the middle.
Yeah, and what I thought about that, and I don't necessarily have to do the switching, but worst case, I could have just had the laptop. I could have taken the screen off the table and put this up against the wall, and I would sit in that corner kind of a thing. And then really on the table, we would just have the microphones, a laptop, and that's it. But it just, to me, it doesn't look, the way I get it set up, it doesn't look as good as the way other people do. Because then I'm like, all right, then you have this long shot of the table, and then when you do, I'd have to set up a camera here facing you that way, and then one over here facing whoever's over here.
That's kind of how we did
just-
it in Tennessee, though, when we did that podcast.
Yeah, and I wasn't a fan of the way that looked.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but that was you could only bring so much equipment, and we
Yeah.
were in an Airbnb, and
Yeah. limited on what we could do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to set it up that way and have you guys look at it and see what you think. But it was I don't know. Plus, that wall has no acoustic treatment now, so you'll get a little bit more echo over there.
Still need to do one down on the workbench.
Echo.
Yeah, no. I don't
Do
know.
what?
Well, now I have 2 of these
I
roads.
told him we need to do it down on the workbench since he's got 2 of them now. He can have one downstairs in the garage where we usually
Yeah,
hang
so
out
we
and
can
chill.
smoke a cigar or something while we do it.
There's the acoustics down there is going to be so bad. We're
We're
going to have to give you a regular microphone.
That's fine. I won't even put it on a stand. I'll have it here. That way I can
Give him
adjust
like
it however I
one of
want.
those like lapel
Lapel
ones.
mic.
Yeah.
Those sound so bad.
Oh well.
Speaking of that, if you guys haven't checked it out yet, Keith just dropped a new video of his 500-mile review on his bike,
Cracked piston ?
and he sent it to me, and he's like, "Let me when you get a chance, watch it. Let me know what you think." And I'm thinking, with the new tailpipes he put on there, they're so loud. Like when he starts it up in the driveway, I can be like in our room with the floor fan that we use for like white noise going on, and you just hear dum every single time. So I'm thinking, there's no way I'm going to be able to hear, but however you set it up, you can hear your voice completely clear while you're doing it. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was my first time trying to moto vlog kind of a thing.
He's a moto vlogger, guys.
I have a video getting ready to come out. Like, it's uploaded to YouTube. I just got to schedule it for next week of the setup that you guys will see. But ended up buying a GoPro.
Yeah.
I've been talking about this for a long time, and I actually got a really good Black Friday deal because I'm technically registered with JUCO.
Yeah.
So not only did I get a student discount, but I got a Black Friday discount. And then once you subscribe to GoPro, you get 20% off all their stuff. So I've been watching all these YouTube videos on how to set it up and found the best way, I think, to make it sound with what I have. So yeah, I put a lapel mic that we've used on a lot of the original videos when we decided to restart the channel, and put that up in there, have 2 wind filters over it to really help block that wind noise. And I think that does make a huge difference, is that. And plus I also had a neck gaiter kind of helping block the wind from getting into the microphone.
Yeah, but the audio was very clear.
Yeah, it was really clear when I listened to it.
That also reminds me, we were talking about doing a podcast possibly, but at first I convinced Keith he needs to start making videos again on just gun videos again. I wish we had pictures of the original few videos that we were. My wife is literally standing on top of the workbench with what's the stabilizer thing called?
Did we? Oh yeah, the gimbal. We had
The
one of those,
gimbal.
yeah.
We had a gimbal. She's trying to hold it up and keep it centered and squared while Keith's going over this video. It had to look so.
Oh, we had nothing. We had my phone, the gimbal, that lapel mic. That was it.
Yeah, when we did the first garage tour and you're walking around with the lapel mic and having to like drag it around with you.
I've since gotten a wireless one.
Nice.
But yeah, it's funny to go back and see how things have progressed.
Yeah.
And fast. Keith's got a little, maybe just the tiniest bit of an addictive personality.
It's called gear acquisition syndrome.
Because we went from shooting off an iPhone to him having boom arms, the Sony SD,
ZV-10.
yeah, floodlighting, backlighting, all of that within like 5 episodes. He freaking just bought it all. He went off.
I did so much research on the gear. Like, I didn't want to, like, you could spend a lot of money on lights, cameras, but I'm like, I want to keep it budget, but get something that's budget, but still good. So that's been a challenge, but I think it's worked out so far.
Technology
it
these
looks
days.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like if someone were to walk in here, they'd be like, "Holy shit, this is a real
Well,
studio."
Usually
It's
when we
not
ever
just
have guests come on, they walk in like, "Oh, I didn't know it was like this."
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
time we've had a guest come on, they're like, "Oh, this is like full blown."
Well, yeah, because you don't
production.
see
Any
a
of
lot
it.
of that
Yeah.
in the video.
Austin was just blown away with what we had. The one thing I absolutely love having the monitor to the right, but I do tend to look at it
A lot.
too much instead of looking at the camera.
cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's ways. Chris and I did this when we were interviewing Perry with Right to Bear Arms. I had this, but then we set up a laptop underneath the camera, so that way we had him on that laptop. So that way, instead of us looking over here,
And naturally drew your focus forward.
we were looking over there. I was still over here switching cameras and doing all that stuff, but we were actually like looking at Perry through the camera, and I think that worked out.
Well, maybe next time we get a monitor, just put it behind the cameras.
So for my first episode back in a while, would it be good for me to stay on brand and have to get up and take a pee in the middle of the episode?
Yes, while you do that, I am going to. So as I've said, we've had my wife on the podcast. So I am going to bring on some of the funnier clips that have found with her, because she tends to roast me a lot, and then you'll notice. And then you'll notice that, especially the second set of episode that she's on, she starts out kind of quiet, serious, but then the whiskey starts to hit her.
Yep. And
I think that episode went to almost an hour and a half long, and at the
she gets
end,
talking when that whiskey gets going.
yep, at the end you can tell she's feeling it, like she's asking for more, and I'm like, all right, I think we need to end this episode. But it's funny. She's always a good time to have on. So I'm going to go ahead and play some of these clips with Marie on the podcast. Ease the women, like, okay, it's not as intimidating because I'm speaking to another woman versus some hard-ass man that, can...
Do you consider yourself a hard ass?
No, but like, yes, I'm a hard-ass. Am I not a hard-ass? Come on, woman. God. All right, first roast of the day.
Yeah.
Chris, do you know what happened on our first outing to a Target together when we started dating?
I don't think we need to discuss this at all.
No, I don't.
We don't need to discuss this at all.
Why not?
Because he spent 30 minutes trying to decide between a red and a black Keurig, the exact same model. Just couldn't pick a color. And I was working part-time at a restaurant, and I finally said, TikTok, I got to go to work. Shitter, get off the pot. We got to go. He got a black one for Christmas. Executive decision. You're really good at picking out vacuums, though. You're pretty decisive about that. We had a new vacuum for like 5 months. I wasn't even aware of this fact. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the best husband ever. He does the laundry and a lot of the house cleaning.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
She admitted that. I really hope
You got
this
a
is recording.
compliment.
How many drinks have I had? And I said that you shouldn't fuck with the person that cooks your food. And so then I decided to elaborate on something that is innocent as rhubarb. And the root is very delicious to eat, but the leaves of the rhubarb root can cause a lot of gastrointestinal distress, vomiting, nausea, and sometimes death.
If I ever die suddenly.
Say, check the food, check
Yeah.
the stomach.
Yeah.
And you still trifle with me. Who's the idiot?
It's all right. My wife does the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we watch murder shows to relax, and you all still test us.
Why do they should not air those shows? It's just giving these women ideas.
Are you serious? You mess with me too bad, I will kill you. I will bury the body where nobody will find it. I will be on the news with my best friends, blubbering, crying, begging for you to come home, leading the search party for your ass. Meanwhile, I know exactly where you are. He's in the garden. Where? You might have to dig a
Why don't you
little.
look into that camera and say that one more time?
So I need to check the
They always
garden if you go
suspect-
missing.
They always suspect the spouse first. I don't know. I'm not afraid to drink my bourbon on the rocks, but that one was rough.
Maybe that's one that you try after you've had a few others.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, well, then I can drink straight gasoline. It's not a problem.
Yeah. Yep.
This is how Hunter sits.
Well, and then you got to do a lot of arm flail. Like you got to move your
That,
arms
you gotta
around.
hit the mic like 5 or 6
Yeah.
times. Oh, man.
JK Hunter, I love you, but that is how you say my husband's name. It really is.
How's your cooking channel? Is that still? Are we still going to do that?
Shut your mouth.
Are we still going to do that? And I haven't told that story yet.
You're not allowed to tell that story ever.
Let's just say that
I had a little bit of a meltdown. 2. I go from 0 to 60, folks. Like, I'm not even going to be like, I'm a Scorpio. It just isn't. No, I just have genuinely like kind of a bad attitude sometimes.
Well,
So, no.
this is what I deal with on a daily basis.
Am I not supposed to say the F word? I think I've said it like 4 times.
Hunter usually says it a time or two.
Oh, well, I don't care what Hunter
I mean, you
does.
could say it just.
Can I drink more of this or no? Sorry, I said you dud. I tried to keep it rated PG,
You did.
which makes me a dud.
I think that whiskey's starting to hit her.
Yeah, I think so too.
And it was. She went from being tight, sitting there listening, to at the end.
Yeah.
Keith. I do not say your name like that.
But she did. You do. There were a lot of episodes where you kind of
Just sat there with their arms crossed.
when especially there's something that Chris and I are talking about, and you're you kind of
Zoning
get in
out.
your zone out. You kind of sit back, hunch, and looking around.
You know, it's tough when you guys are talking deep gun stuff. I love guns, but
But what?
just I can't get in the weeds like you guys can.
Yep. But yeah, and then so one other funny thing I'm going to share. I was trying to pull up our very first pilot episode, but I can't connect to the internet for some reason. But I'm going to put in some B-roll here of our first episode.
That was a solid clap, man.
Yes. See that? Hear that echo?
I love
Echoey
it.
in here now without those banners.
Get a bunch of egg cartons and hang up.
Or just get that padding.
Yeah.
That shape,
Styrofoam.
the cone shaped black
It's terrible.
padding.
I'm going to build my own acoustic panels. It's going to be awesome.
You're gonna build them yourself.
Yes.
Tight.
So, Chris, and I didn't realize this at first until I was going back through all these episodes. Chris, as we've now known, has a sign off.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he's had that since the pilot episode. Like every episode, except for one you'll see, he's had it. Like it's always been there.
Yeah.
So here's I was gonna try to make this a long montage of 52 of these, but
God dang.
I couldn't. So this is
There wasn't enough memory for it.
I know. Even though I had to get this small little clip, this is what Chris is known for at the end of every podcast.
Have a good one.
Have a good one. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Have a good one. Have a good one.
Have a good one. Mine says have a good one.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Have a good one. Have a good one. Have a good one. That's all, folks.
What the hell was that? That's not your sign off.
What the hell was that? That's like
You threw us all off. We're like, what?
Yep.
But except for that episode, everyone has
Yep.
been have a good one.
Yeah.
That's his signature sign off. And he refused to use that on Kat's podcast,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
is good.
It's special for this podcast.
Yep.
Yeah. Even Kat.
I thought when before you segued into actually saying it was his sign off, I thought you were gonna do 52 freeze frames of how Chris sits in the exact same position for the entire podcast, doesn't move at all.
You know what's funny? He's always had the middle seat too.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Not always. I had a couple on the ends.
well, yeah, I guess.
We have more people, but
Most recently, since we've had this main setup, you're always in the middle.
yeah.
Even in the beginning, there was just a few times where he'd be off.
Yeah.
You always like being over there so you can have all the controls, and then I think you guys put me over here because of how much I move. So
Maybe we should put you in the middle, and it'll help you. It'll restrict you from moving.
I don't think
Yeah.
so. I think I'd just be bugging the shit out of you guys the
Stop
whole time.
hitting me,
start hitting
Hunter.
you. Yeah.
We need to give him a job.
Yeah, I need to start coming on the podcast more.
Well, yeah,
but I
that
think
too.
I'm going to be. He's to the point now where it's not such a hassle to just be the only person with him. So I'm definitely going to be able to start coming back on a regular basis. So looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And I sent Keith a picture of him, but so Keith can just put it on the B-roll so you can guys see what he looks like. So
B-roll right now. So, what do you think of the daylight? I'm like, as you can see, we're still always trying to make things better. What do you think of the daylight?
I think that where you're sitting, you still look like you have some pigment in your skin, and Chris and I look like we're from fucking Twilight. We look like vampires over here.
You guys look just how you normally look, though. Because I noticed with the more warmer light, it kind of, there's too much saturation in it sometimes.
When I'm looking at Chris on the screen and then I'm looking at him directly in person, he looks like if he steps in the sunlight, he will light on fire. And then here, he looks like he's just got his normal shade of, you know, a little bit of tan, but not, you know, he's obviously not like super tan right now. It's the winter, but still.
So if you guys have seen from those clips of Marie, can you imagine if Marie was sitting in here right now? Because she's pale anyway. She'd look like, be like a
She'd
ghost.
be translucent. Yeah.
But I'm going to try some tricks with color grading, because that's why I wanted to get the daylight to help with color grading. So that's my next adventure, is trying to color grade stuff, because I really don't. So get a color grade down.
Color grade.
Yeah. So anything else you guys want to add on to your experience of a year of a podcasting under your belt, or any favorite moments, anything you hated? Like, is there anything you don't like about podcasting? Or
I tell you what, just trying whiskeys every week. God dang.
It sucked.
God.
terrible.
The only thing I don't like about podcasting is when we get to that like 55-minute hour mark. And believe it or not, when you're constantly having to think of things to say and you're concentrating on what you're doing, it is a little mentally taxing. And when we start getting deeper into the episodes, you can kind of see we start falling apart on what we're talking. Like, some of the episodes, we'll get deep into it, and then all of a sudden we are talking about absolutely nothing. We're just talking like we normally would, but we still have the cameras rolling. And so some of that stuff's good and funny, but it's not very, you know, it's not productive for the podcast episode.
And you'll notice if you see Hunter on the podcast doing that kind of stuff, like looking around and everything. It's like,
I can't sit still as is, and then you get me to have to sit still for over an hour.
even with the whiskey, it doesn't calm you down a little
It's gonna
bit?
get rough. Depends on how much I drink. But if I drink too much, then none of my commentary is any good. You know, just kind of it's a nice tightrope walk.
Cool.
What about you, Chris?
I don't know. I think it's fun. Gets me out of the house. That's what I like about it.
I was gonna say, I think it's different for me and Keith because we live next door to each other, so we see each other all the time. But I bet you and Keith probably talk more, see each other a lot more. I bet it's kind of help like cement your guys' adult relationship, because when you become an adult, especially you with two young kids, like you have to donate so much time to your family. But if you have a designated time,
the best part is he only lives like a couple blocks away from my in-laws. So like every time we go to the in-laws, I'm like, well, let's go check on Keith, see how he's doing. So that's helpful. But yeah, for sure. I think we're always talking about. Got any ideas for this week? What should we talk about? Did you see this video? So
But it's just kind of something cool to look forward to, like guy time, trying whiskeys for an hour a week. It's kind of nice to just, hey, and we've kept it pretty consistent on doing it Wednesday. There's been a couple times we've had to change it, which is no big deal.
Yeah.
But having that dedicated time during the week to actually hang out, relax, try some whiskey, BS for a while. It's been kind of fun, and hopefully it continues for another year.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it'll continue for another year.
But yeah, so not a shameless plug here, but we do want to basically, this has all been kind of run through Boomstick Tactical LLC. So this has all kind of been funded by them, my company. So if you guys are in the Kansas City area and are looking for any firearms or anything, check out our website, www.boomstick-tactical.com. And in there, you'll see a current inventory tab. That'll take you to the arms list page. YouTube and Facebook will not let us advertise on there, so they won't even let us post just a link to anything. Like even my website, it gets mad if I post a link to my website. So that's my website. I have an arms list page with all of our stuff in stock. And if you're from out of state, if there's anything you see that you want, we do ship. So we ship guns all over the place, except for those few handful of states that aren't gun friendly and Oregon.
Sorry.
But I saw that there was a stop on that, at least for another couple of days. We'll see. Hopefully that gets pushed more. But other than that, we ship. If there's something that you see online on our website or don't see on our website, we can custom order anything, whether you're local or out of state. We can ship to your FFL. If you're local, if you live in the Johnson County area, we do $20 transfers. If you're getting a pistol, you have to have a candidate's ID. But if you're doing a rifle or a shotgun, you can be from any state. We can do that transfer, or you could purchase something from us as long as it's a rifle or shotgun. Doesn't matter what state you're from. Pistol, you have to be 21 and with a Kansas ID, but we can always ship it to an FFL in your area. So gun business has been slow because it's the holidays and the freaking
Government's trying to shut us down.
yeah, government. No, that inflation, everybody's kind of buying stuff.
Yeah, you go to the grocery store now.
Yeah.
You pick up 10 things, it's $150.
Have you seen the price of eggs?
Yes, dude. What is up with that?
What? Oh my
There's
God.
actually, all right, we'll talk about it later. The other thing I was going to say as well is another great way to support this channel is by subscribing and watching the videos, especially if you're interested in getting into podcasting or learning about cameras or how to edit or anything like that. Keith's other channel, Shotgun Studio, that's a great way to help not only support and grow this channel, but support and grow that channel as well, in which Keith can actually, because with this, we're talking about guns and stuff like that, the YouTube guidelines, it's hard to get most of these videos monetized, but since his other channel is just about the technology and all that stuff, subscribe to that, help him get to that 1,000 subscriber mark, and he'll be able to make money off that, which is only going to help this channel grow more because it'll, it's run through Keith. It's all going to help support.
It's all going to go to running the podcast. There's a lot of stuff you don't think about running podcasts. So many or even a YouTube channel, all the subscriptions you have to have for royalty-free music, the platform that we upload this to, just the audio only to Spotify. There's a platform and a fee that we have to pay. This Ecamm Live, like all sorts of different things you don't think about, and it gets expensive. The equipment gets expensive. So if you guys can support Boomstick Tactical LLC, and then over on Shotgun Studio, I do reviews on the equipment that we use and some video editing techniques, and going to kind of do some more stuff on that. I did have a company reach out and send a microphone for a review, which was kind of cool.
Super cool. The fact that they sent him a microphone to do a review on. He did his review. And if you're looking to get a microphone, why not just watch it and see if it's something you might be interested in?
Yeah. So check that out. And I need to start doing that podcast over there a little bit more. Luckily, it's wintertime basically here, so I'll be able to focus on the YouTube video stuff more now that it's getting cold. I do like the motorcycle stuff. That's because generally most people that are into motorcycles also happen to like guns and vice versa. So
Sons of Anarchy.
I know.
Oh,
luckily with those videos though, there's no YouTube guideline restrictions, so those are fully monetizable. So that's kind of why I wanted to invest in the whole GoPro setup, because at least for me, I mean, I like watching those people talk about something, but also riding on their bike, and just a bunch of cool different stuff we can do with that. So I'm going to kind of add some cool things to the channel and test some things out with that. Going to be not as frequent now that it's winter, because riding in the cold sucks.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's also cool because Keith bought one of the most customizable bikes you can possibly buy, so you can follow him on his journey as he continues to customize and do new stuff to his bike.
Yep. Got a video that I'm going to be doing on the headlight, because the stock one sucks. And then also LED front turn signals, just because the front ones are garbage, and that way you could be seen more. I'll have one coming out next week on the whole GoPro setup and how I set that up, and it's really cool. So yeah, something different.
And we actually got signed off by the city. I'm going to oil slick the street, and Keith is going to show you how to properly lay down a bike if you ever have to. So look forward for that video. And Also,
Hunter's going to be sponsoring that video because he's going to be bringing on the bike.
also the only thing I'm mad about is, so I got up at like, I don't know, 4:30 this morning with little man. Couldn't fall back asleep. So before the podcast, I was laying on the couch. It's about 6 o'clock. I told my wife, if I fall asleep, regardless, get me off the couch in 5 minutes. 45 minutes later, 15 minutes before we're supposed to start the podcast. Hey, sorry I forgot, but you should probably get up now. But the thing that made me mad is I actually did have something for you to pull up. I didn't know if we had enough time, but when are we going to get this merch? You could have gone through every time I said, hey, look out for that merch coming soon. But
Yep.
we're going to get it. Don't you worry. It's on its way.
Someday.
Somewhere.
So before we have the sign off, or no, did we do all the? Yeah, we already did the Chris thing. Sorry, forgot. We already did the Chris thing. I wanted to make sure we got those on there. I really wanted to get 50 of those.
Yeah, memory.
Maybe I'm going to try and clear my memory somehow and edit
Maybe-
more of those in
Maybe
there.
just look out for a video coming here soon. Just a
Chris saying-
montage clip of him having a have a good one. Just boom, boom, boom.
52 different ones of Chris
Gotta
saying,
bring
hey, have a
52
good
different
one.
shirts and just do it all at once.
I'm just gonna program to where one of these buttons I just have to press and it's Chris going, have a good one.
Yeah.
Also, can we talk about how Chris is always wearing? Me and Keith are always in the most neutral colors, and Chris is always wearing something loud as hell every single episode. I love it. Not hating, but it's awesome.
Hey, that's good because he's in the middle. He breaks it up.
Yeah.
And that is one thing too. Nothing against you, Hunter, because you've had the baby and stuff. But Chris has literally been on every single episode.
That's because he's a badass,
I know,
and because
which is awesome. So much appreciated being on every episode Chris has been on. It's awesome.
Crazy.
So yeah, Hunter's got a baby. Totally understandable. But you've been on probably what 70% of them, you'd think.
Yeah, 70 probably. I would have actually been back sooner, but Keith made me fill out this application to be able to become a co-host again. We had to go through some litigation. Finally,
Background checks, fingerprints, you know.
finally cleared, so I'm back on, guys.
That's
So,
an excuse for my wife wouldn't
He had to
let
get
me.
he had to get his permit.
just wait till you guys see this picture of my baby.
Yes.
You'll understand why I want to stay home so much.
There is no doubt that this is Hunter's child.
Yeah.
Just it is what it is. I mean, there's no doubt. It's not one of those like, you hear people like it comes out and it's a different skin color and you're like, what happened there? There's no doubt. This
I've been
one,
on deployment for 4 years. How are you pregnant?
Hunter kind of has a comb over, dark hair.
Yeah.
This baby came out with a dark haired comb over.
He came out full head of hair. Crazy. And he still has it. Well, he's starting to lose it on the back, but they said that would happen because they're always on their back. It kind of gets rubbed off. But Jasmine has been a little sad. She's just like, when's he going to start looking like me a little bit? So don't worry, babe.
I mean, she's got dark hair too. So, dark
yeah,
hair.
but his hair is 100% my color. It's not her, like, she's half Hispanic, so she's got, like, black hair. It's not even close to that. It is my, like, medium-ish light brown hair, so.
Fair enough.
Anyways,
Anything else, guys? Anything add?
that Whistlepig was fantastic.
Yeah,
That's
it
good.
was. It was really good.
I wish it was cheaper.
Yeah. I poured one more, and I was like, I better stop there so Keith can put it on the,
Put it on
put it
the
on the
shelf.
wall.
We definitely have some we are going to be trying, which is good.
Yep.
But yeah, we're going to keep this going weekly as long as we can. And if there's anything you guys specifically want us to talk about, want to hear us talk about, have any ideas, let us know down in the comments section. If you're listening to audio only, shoot us an email at boomsticktactical@gmail.com. All our contact information is also on our YouTube channel. There's a way to
on the
contact
info
us.
tab.
Yeah. We have
And-
a Facebook page, Boomstick Tactical LLC. Just do a search for that. Contact us through there. I post a little bit over there. We do have a Instagram that I don't do too much on because it's just, I don't know, a lot.
He should. He made a TikTok page, posted one video, and it got like a bajillion views, and then he hasn't done anything else with it.
Because they took it down.
Did they really?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
They're all owned by the same company.
Last thing I'll say. So my birthday was last Friday. Just turned 29. Feel free to say happy birthday to me and Keith. His birthday is on Monday. He just turned 43. So congrats for Keith. Way to go,
25th time.
Keith.
Yeah, right. No, I turned 25 for the 11th time. So you guys do the math.
Yeah.
There you go. What do you got to say, Chris?
Well, this is a YouTube video. Remember to like, subscribe, hit that bell, make it tickle. Woo! And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, remember to follow. And with that, have a good one.